Okay, we're Gray, Archie, and Lelio, and we're going to talk about the Sierra Escarpment.
So this is Pangaea, which is a supermassive continent that existed 200 to 300 million years ago. And about 250 million years ago, it broke apart like this, which sent continents and islands flying throughout the ocean. This here is North America, and went that way. So when Pangaea broke apart, the North American coast began much further back. So this was the end of the coast and this was water. So those islands that Pangaea sent across the ocean came and they crashed into the side of the coast and eroded, which created new coast. So this happened multiple times and the islands kept pushing up on each other, which slowly created a gradual slope up, so they kept pushing each other. And the islands stayed together by something called sutures, which sit in between each island and hold together the islands. In the case of the Sierra Escarpment, there were two types of plates involved, an oceanic plate and a continental plate. This is called the Farallon plate, and this is the North American plate. The oceanic plate subducted underneath the continental plate, and it put a lot of stress on the oceanic plate, which actually caused it to break off and caused the top of the plate to snap up. Then the top of the plate snapped up, pushing on the ground underneath, which caused the escarpment to actually rise here. So it would be pushing on here and pushing up this, and this is the gradual slope of the islands.
As Grace said, all the islands, they crash into the side of the coast. And also Grace talked about the sutures, and you can see here on the map, the purple lines are the sutures that are made out of serpentinite that hold each island together. Each one of the colors on the map represents a different island, and it also represents a different rock that was in the islands that crashed. The dark green here is a metavolcanic rock, and it's from the Mesozoic era, which happened around 252 million years ago. The light green in here you can see is also another island, and this also happened in the Mesozoic era, and it's made mostly out of basic intrusive rocks. The blue over here is made mostly out of dolomite and limestone, and that happened in the Paleozoic era. And scientists believe that scientists know that dolomite and limestone is mostly found in oceanic reefs, so they believe that part of this terrain was an oceanic reef before it crashed, part of the island. And over here we have the escarpment, and around right here, you can see all the fault lines that come down. I'll talk about that later. The escarpment is made mostly out of granite, and that's from the Mesozoic era as well. As I said before, the fault lines, you can see all these black lines that lead all the way down to the bottom of our map. They continue from the top all the way to the bottom of California, basically. And you can tell by the black lines, they go to the bottom.
Okay, so here's some pics of the Sierra Escarpment. These three pics were taken in different spots on the map, or on the escarpment. This is of the northern escarpment, this is of the middle of the escarpment, and this is of the southern of the escarpment. And you can see on the map, we pinned where each pic was taken, so you can kind of see the spread out. So as you can see, the escarpment got bigger as it went more southern, but geologists don't know why. And this picture here is kind of just to show the scale and the steepness of the escarpment. Okay, so in terms of human uses, there's a lot that has come out of the Sierra Nevadas. There are a few highways that go through the escarpment, including Interstate 80 and Highway 49. Interstate 80 is a significant place as it goes through the Donner Pass, which was used by Native Americans, pioneers, explorers, and gold miners in the earlier days. And Highway 49 goes through the Yuba Pass. So many rivers come down from the mountains and carry minerals from the soil and land to the basins and flatlands, making places like the Great Valley of California very good for farming and produce. As mentioned before, the Sierras were used by Native Americans, and there's evidence that the Native American group called the Martis would hunt and farm in Sattly in the Sierras, and it is also suggested that they are the predecessors of the Washoe and the Baidu people, and that they came to the valley until as early as the 1900s. More recently, a small number of people from the Paitu tribe have been known to work and live in Sattly at times. Here are our sources. Thank you.